My name is JJ Guidry. I'm the offensive line coach at Brackett High School in Bracketville, Texas. Been coaching football for a little under 20 years. I went to college at Delta State University, was a student assistant there, and since then I've coached all across Texas. Brackettville is my hometown. We recently moved back 2 years ago. It's a small community, a small rural community located about 30 miles from the Mexico border. Our community has about 3,000 people. And, this has been a very interesting time. I'm very proud to say that our small school district, in a matter of less than 48 hours, transitioned to a complete online learning environment. It's been interesting and it's been challenging, but it's been very educational. And I think it's awesome that our community is committed to continue teaching our kids despite what's going on in the world right now.
To your point, Coach, you're spending a lot more time at home than you used to. And so maybe you wrote a little bit about, the top 10 tips for coaches working from home. What are some of sort of the more positive things that you've been able to find about doing your job from home, and maybe what some of the negative ones are?
Well, I think on the positive end of the spectrum, you have more time with your family. You have more time to strengthen those bonds, and even through athletics. I have three children that range from 10 to 14 years old, and my 10-year-old and my 12-year-old, they both have PE lessons online every day. Whether it's learning a new dance or doing a physical activity or something related to health, they're still learning. My oldest is 14 and she plays volleyball and runs track. She does an athletic workout at home every day, and we're able to do that together. We'll also go out in the yard and hit softballs or shoot the basketball. And I think it's a really kind of a wake-up call in America to spend more time with your family and to enjoy those times. The negative is, you get into education. One of the reasons is to make a difference with kids, and missing that social interaction, is tough, because that's one of the most positive aspects of our job. It's also difficult to, from an athletic standpoint, to make sure you're progressing, within athletics. I mean, we don't know if our kids are at home, working out. I mean, we hope that they are, and it really, this is probably the most important time of the year in regards to football, because you're getting bigger, faster, stronger. And, we don't really have a true method of monitoring our kids' progress at this point. But, at the same time, we're around our kids all the time. So hopefully we've instilled that work ethic. Hopefully they're doing what they need to do in order to be successful down the road.
I think that's probably extremely challenging, and certainly delivering the type of teaching that you have to deliver during this time frame when everything is so up in the air. It's like, how could you possibly do that? And I'm curious if, Austin, you've been talking to coaches, where are you guys bridging the gap? Where have you found some commonalities with coaches? Like, there's something that we can do here with some of the tools that we have available to help coaches.
Sure. I think that I'll say this: we have definitely seen an uptick in the creativity level that coaches have had within Just Play and how they're using it. We have a handful of colleges that are doing just that. They're sending workouts and they're getting with their strength coaches, and they're creating basically progression plans for workouts and exercises for the kids to do, and track progress to make sure that, they're at least looking through the content. We can't know if they're doing it or not, but we definitely can track their progress to make sure that, they're going in and they're looking at each of the exercises, they're watching the videos on how to do it. They're reading about what the exercise is and how to do it. But I think the other positive that has come out of this is a lot of coaches have more time to do player development stuff, in terms of like actually focusing on what they need to get better at. they knock out their recruiting, they knock out, some of the family time. Maybe they watch some Netflix and Disney Plus, but, then they get back to, watching film on themselves. And we've worked with a handful of programs who have actually created write-up reports on every player. They've put video with it. And they've shared that with the players. So I think that one of the biggest benefits of this is it's providing the clarity space, or the headspace, to be able to kind of get creative and focus on, yes, this is a unique time, but the world's not ending. So how do we continue to get better on a each and every day basis?
I think that's a critical point. It's not something that you're hearing a lot right now. This too shall pass. How do you help your players kind of stay positive in this environment, Coach?
Well, I think, right along the lines that we're talking about, you have to communicate with your players, stay in contact with them, send positive messages, let them know that life's going to be okay. They need to, follow the recommendations, of social distancing and staying indoors or away from large groups, that kind of thing. But, it's a difficult time. So I think it's real important to maintain that line of communication, and be positive, and just be uplifting.
I think what it boils down to is exactly what Coach said, in terms of just communication. The importance of this time in communicating with players, couldn't be any higher in all aspects, not just, strength and conditioning, not just X's and O's, but, making sure that people, as they're at home, are continuing the foundation that you've created for them throughout the school year, throughout, the season, in all those values that you've instilled in your players. So all of those values that you've instilled in them can just be amplified and continued upon with the content that you're sharing. I would say this, what we're doing is not necessarily revolutionary. We're not changing the world or anything like that. We're just helping you take all of the stuff that you're doing, or that you've done for years, and put it in the players' hands. Put it in a medium that they are accustomed to consuming it on, and helping you bridge the gap as a coach, helping you bridge the gap to communicate with them on their terms.